Hey everybody, Falcon Genie here, and I have to share you something about the dark truth about being a YouTuber, or even being a content creator. Everyone, I have to share you the truth, the dark truth about being a YouTuber and a content creator. I have to share you the dark truth about being a content creator, of being a content creator, media personality, and the traps and pitfalls what may come in your way. So let's get started. For starters, everyone, if you're planning to become a successful YouTuber or a successful social media personality, for starters, these influencers say that it's easy to get 1,000 followers, which is further from the truth because reality-wise, it's the most difficult part of being a YouTuber is getting your first 1,000 followers. That's the hardest part. These idiot media personalities, and I repeat, these idiot media personalities on YouTube, when they first started out, when they were getting followers, it wasn't easy for them, and they were basically playing the waiting game, and how many followers were piling up. For them, it was difficult, and guess like for me, it's also difficult too. Waiting for many followers to pile up in that sub feed, not only on YouTube but also different platforms. That's why everyone, don't let these media personalities fool you saying it's an easy job when clearly it's not. It's really difficult. It's the most difficult part of being a YouTuber is getting your first 1,000 followers. That's the difficult part. Another argument I have to say is that the content that most creators make, I have to say it because it needs to be said, because every piece of content that you make and want to make money from YouTube, the content you make has to be 100% original, in yours. That means the music you have to create yourself, and the sound effects you have to create it yourself. You have to make the sound effects that you created yourself. If you don't want anyone to claim the revenue that if you don't want anyone to claim the revenue that you don't own or didn't create, guess what? The people who own that content, not only the people who own it, even the people who don't own the content, they can still come to your channel and claim that audio, even though they may not be the copyright owners of that effect, even though they may not be copyright owners of that, audio. Which, by the way, everyone needs to understand, because you have to understand, everyone. Most people have to learn that if they want to be successful on YouTube, you're going to have to start from scratch, meaning you're going to have to prepare if you want to be on YouTube. And there's a lot of lazy creators on YouTube that just steal content. Those reaction channels, everyone, they'll never get far because YouTube wants to see originality. They don't want to see lazy people who steal content. That's the reason why so many channels don't get accepted to the partner program. Either they steal content or they make content that goes against TOS. You know what's the number one reason why so many channels end up not being monetized and not end up making money and have to go to different platforms to monetize their content in different platforms? It's because they were making content that wasn't originally theirs, or they were making content that goes against TOS. That's the number one reason why. Just remember that, everyone. Remember that really good. Anyways, let's make some music, everybody. that is how you make original music, everybody. Do what I do. Make original music. And you know how you can make original audio and sound effects? Just do this. Download the GarageBand app from the App Store. It's free. They have all sorts of downloadable music, sounds, and effects where you can make your own, where you can use your own audio and create your own audio. Plus, it's free, and you can make all the music. And plus, when you make the music, you actually own the music. The sound effects, and if you want to create sound effects, you can use everyday products with your phone to record the sound, and you can use one of GarageBand's synthesizers for sound effects in your video, so that way you don't have to end up buying the licenses. You don't have to end up buying the licenses for music or sound effects when you can create them yourself. If you have a phone, use everyday products to record sounds from your phone. That way, scammers won't try to get you deplatformed, or worse, put you in legal trouble. You have to make sure that the audio and the sound effects are 100% yours. Even if you do get the license, these scammers can still come and claim your channel. But they can still come and claim the revenue for that audio. Even if you do have the license, they can still come and claim it. That's why, everyone, it's better to create your own sound effects, so that way if one of these scammers try to claim that audio, you tell them it's your audio, you have the right to use it, and you can legally fight it because it's 100% yours. These scammers, everyone, they cannot copyright something that isn't theirs. They cannot copyright something that's yours. Because if it's your sound effect, it's yours. They cannot take that away from you. I'm just saying, everyone, this day and age, you cannot be lazy. There are many options out there, everyone. There are many options out there for your content creation supply. There's no excuse why you have to steal content from others. Like I just said, there are a plethora of options out there. Either create audio that's yours and be completely safe, or be consumed by malicious people that want you to fail when it comes to sound effects, or be consumed by people who are malicious that want you to fail. I'm just saying, there's plenty of stuff out there where you can create your own effects. That way you don't have to buy a license for that. You don't have to. Just create your own. That way it's 100% yours. That way it's completely 100% yours. Let's just say I have used Apple's sound effects before in my videos, but I stopped because if you want to make money on YouTube, everyone, you got to be smart. I got to be smart. You have to outsmart the competition. You got to stand out, meaning you got to use original OCs, you created original audio, not just music, but also sound effects. You have to actually be original, everyone. You actually have to be creative and actually be original if you want to make money from every video you produce. Meaning everyone, you gotta get up, meaning you have to get up your lazy asses and start putting time and effort into your own content. That's why, everybody, you gotta get off your lazy ass and start putting more time and effort into your own content. I don't like this. I'm just saying, everybody, if you want to stay clear from these malicious scammers that try to claim the audio, even though if it's not yours, but the scammers can see that, and they know these scammers, they're trying to get you deplatformed. That's why these so-called copyright scammers, everyone, you got to be aware of them, that they exist, and they're trying to get you deplatformed that way they can abuse the copyright system. You got to understand, they're trying to extort you. That's why don't make deals with these scumbags. That's why, everyone, you got to fight them. That's why, everybody, if you create the audio and it's 100% yours, you can fight it because it's yours. They can't claim something that they didn't create. They cannot claim something that you created something. They cannot claim that unless if it's theirs. If it's not theirs, it's yours. Exactly, everybody. That's what people got to understand. You cannot come to YouTube just by being lazy and just take the lazy way out. No, because YouTube's going to see that, and they're gonna think you're gonna try to cheat the system, and YouTube will take action against you if you try to cheat the system. Trust me, everybody. It's not worth getting your channel deleted all because you wanted to be lazy, all because you weren't creative. Because YouTube is only reserved for the creatives. That's why everybody, you cannot afford to be lazy in this day and age. Let's make some other music. That is how you make good music, everybody. That is how you make good music. And I'm telling you this because most majority of YouTubers don't make it. Either some scammer company tries to you know why I'm telling you this, everyone? Because most majority of YouTubers, they don't make it. Because only the 1% make it on YouTube. Only the completely 1% make it on YouTube. Either the rest of them, either some you know how these lazy YouTubers, either some scammer company tries to extort a creator on YouTube, or they become lazy and arrogant thinking they don't have to take accountability, and that's where everything goes wrong for these creators, these so-called lazy content creators. Heed my warning. Learn from them. These scammers, these scammer criminals, they will never stop, everyone. Heed my warning, because these criminal scammers, everyone, sometimes the copyright owner, they could be posing as the copyright owner, but in reality they're not the copyright owner. Look, I'm just saying, everybody, you got to be vigilant. You got to do your vigilance. You cannot come to YouTube being lazy and taking the lazy way out. It's not easy making content on YouTube. You have to do everything yourself. Start from scratch. I'm telling you, it isn't easy. It's very difficult, everyone. It's extremely difficult. Getting your first 1,000 subs, that's the hardest part of being a YouTuber, everyone. That's literally the hardest part. But these idiot media personalities, they'll never get it through their minds. They just want to keep on grifting and grifting and grifting. Oh well. That's why people like us are going to keep refuting their BS and their nonsense, and will continue to go against this degenerate culture. And that's all I have to say, everybody. Anyways, if you like this video, like, comment, share. Like, comment, share, and please, everyone, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And as always, fight this degenerate agenda.